Lily D'Adamio. I'm a mixed media artist, intuitive guidance channel, and I help people come back into their authentic expressions, not just in art, but in life. There's many ways I do that, and there's also many ways I look at art. I am predominantly a mixed media painter, but I also write and speak and drum and sing and channel that kind of stuff. So abstraction for me is all about like channeling that energy, which there's a video a little bit about drumming, and I'll be making more videos as we go forward about those topics. So if you're interested, I'm at a crossroads in my life, a converging point, a opening, you could say, is where it's harder to hide the things that are important to me and necessary in order to like move forward with all the work I'm about to do here. You know, sometimes it's just time. So I'm just painting over an old painting. I'm painting out the backs, and I'm just deciding to do that and make it my own. And just talking about what I'm doing and some of my thoughts around it. And then also I'll be like doing a time lapse because it's very involved. So let's get started. Swipe. I'll show you what I mean by starting this one. Let's see what it was called. Dream On 2021. Ooh, so that's a couple years old. Dream On is a wonderful Depeche Mode song, and it also is the sentiment about, well, dreaming, you know, dream on, keep dreaming. I really love the interplay of those ideas. So I often get my titling from maybe a song, but then I like to have it have maybe multiple meanings of what it could mean. I love the layered mystery to it all. So if I didn't tell you any of that, you wouldn't know. But maybe if you're a smart music person, you might know. Music really influences the way I work and, you know, because, you know, it's going to evoke emotion. And there's going to be particular times where you resonate with certain things more than others. So it's not like I was listening to that song per se, but I'm always kind of listening to everything and pulling stuff from there. It's kind of like what I have an affinity for, and then I'm drawn to it, and then that's how I derive inspiration. So I like to think about words as inspiration, and words can also be like gateways into a painting. I think paintings can also give us words, so that's something I'm going to expand upon more in the future videos. So I'm just painting out this this backside and yeah, that could be whatever it wants to be. So I know that I want to build up the surface more with paper, and that's where I'm gonna start. So I'm kind of a weirdo. I'm trying to treat canvas like paper. I like to treat paper like wood, and that's just my thinking. I think it's because like what was interesting to me is like just certain feelings that have happened that are more like tactile with those surfaces. And then if I bring that idea over to, it makes it like obscure. So sometimes your inspiration can just be found in those little moments. You know, it doesn't have to be like this big thing. Just like you develop your own preference to an idea, to a direction. And like that's what we mean by inspiration. maybe making it super personal, right? Because, like, the more personal, the better. Sometimes I just wet these papers with a spray bottle. It just, I have an old pen. Sometimes I soak them too, but that needs to be redone. But I'm just thinking, I'm not thinking about anything right now because this whole thing's gonna change, so it doesn't matter what we did to it. You know. So right now I'm just thinking about how can I apply these papers onto the surface, and I'm not even really concerned like what's happening when I lay the paper down. I mean, because it's gonna get covered. The majority of these are gonna get covered. I kind of just want to have some edges and some more drawing mark ability, and that's why I like want the paper in there. Also, this comes from the class I just created. Is about making a series of expressive mixed media works on paper, and it's using paper on paper in different ways and then scraping in and ripping through it. So I'm drawing like my own inspiration from my class into this new work, and actually creating my class was a big catalyst for myself. It was a big breakthrough too. I could really see a lot of my ideas coming to life more because I was kind of forced to think about how I would say it. Yeah. And I'm getting a lot of good responses from it, so you know what happened for me too is I created the class. I also procrastinated on creating the class because I was at my edge with making that and so it's kind of like a fear point for me is to move into these next things, in not just in the artwork but in life. So then I had like a super big block from all of that. And I've been struggling a little bit towards the end of the year. Well, the whole year's been a struggle, I'm not gonna lie. But you know what's cool? It's been a struggle, but I've still been showing up to the work. And find me in a closet. I'll figure out how to make the work. I'm laughing because I know how challenging it's been for me and how emotional and how much stuff I had to move through. So it's just, I'm glad the work is here to help me through, you know. Sometimes we just can't control what happens in our life, and you know, we can use that in the artwork, that idea. The we can't control, like if I take this spray bottle and do that, I can't really control it. I could try to direct the way it wants to go. But ultimately, I'm kind of at the mercy of the decision that I just made, and that happens in life too. And then you learn what you like, or you learn if you can keep something. And sometimes you really want something to stay, but it has to go away anyway. Or it's not the right time, or like even in an idea, maybe the idea hasn't had enough time to percolate. So that's why you want to be working every day. That's my personal opinion. Even if it's a little bit, like doing these experiments or sketchbooks or whatever you want to call it whatever you want. And and then, you know, because like right now I'm having a shift, and but I've been having a hell of a time getting there, right? But like I'm lucky because I have the culmination of the years, not just in like working and building artwork, but also in lived experiences. So I know what trauma feels like. I know what loss feels like. I know what grief feels like. I know what pain feels like. So when I experience it again, I'll just, you know, look at it deeper this time around in my life, and then see how I can put it into the artwork. You know, someone was just talking to me about how joyful the work is, and I was thinking it's funny because color really elicits the joy, but it's not necessarily joyful making it. You know, but like I didn't tell them that because, you know, and like that's what I'm really interested in. I put all my emotionality into this work over the years and still, and how it can be ambiguous in the sense of people just maybe relate to it as a happy thought. But maybe if you're really looking, you would go beyond that and think about, whoa, the struggle. But then it's interesting to think about people maybe just associate bright color with happiness and then black with sadness. But like, to me, that's so arbitrary and like, I don't know. It's just not the case, right? Like there's so many shades, tints, and hues in between all of that, and there's so many emotionalities that come through. But you know, I can't really hold on to however anyone wants to perceive it, because that's not in my control either. I can only control like what I want to do, what I want to show up to, and how I want to move forward in the work. And, you know, if I've made mistakes, I can only atone to those and try to move on. And, you know, you can't always force it in art or life, you know, because sometimes you want to resolve something. You want to resolve something in a painting, but it might take time to get the answer. And maybe you want to resolve something in life, but maybe it will never be resolved because the chips just fell where they were. Yeah, you know, it's like hard to know. But it doesn't mean that we don't have the desires, right? And sometimes those desires can be the frustration points in a painting and in life, because, and then we get too attached to all of it and really can get taken out. And, you know, I was experiencing that recently with my own growth personally as an artist. Then it felt like all of a sudden I didn't know anything again. And to me, I'm not used to that feeling yet. It's only really been 6 years of me making art, and only since 2020 that I felt like an artist. So it's not really been that long to assimilate all that. And, so when I feel like a big shift coming, I just feel like I want to quit everything. It's true. But like, I do know enough that the shift is coming and I have to stay. Ooh. I just realized abracadabra is right here. That's so cool. I've been obsessed with this symbol. So, and that's funny because those dictionary pages were just all randomly cut apart. Like, I love like a happy moment, like a happenstance synchronicity moment like that in art and life, where you just fall into something that gives you so much feeling and emotion and hope and, you know, excitement and energy too, right? And that can happen in all kinds of ways. but we can't always keep that either. So it's about appreciating it while it was there, and then sometimes we have to grieve the loss of something too. Yeah. And those are all things that are going into these paintings, believe it or not, all that stuff. But it's not like I'm always thinking about it. I'm writing about it sometimes, and I'm talking about it more because it's just my interest. As teaching kind of emerges, so there's a lot more coming out of my mouth. And also as I kind of move into all my expressions, because I don't want to just limit it to like painting, and I want to bring in the important elements that are me, like out into the open. And kind of for a long time I was like afraid of that. I can still be afraid of it. It's just what I noticed over the years is just I've been learning to face it more and more and show up and see what's there and then investigate the process and kind of dare to enter the moment from maybe sometimes a strange place. And that comes with a lot of responsibility if you like want to choose to do that. But I think what I'm interested in is the ability that you can choose to express yourself and feel all these feelings and have a transformative process by just engaging it in the surface. So there's like a lot, it's multi-layered and multi-dimensional for me, in the sense of there's the artwork and there's all the ideas around what it means to like have paint and make marks, but then there's the emotion, which is such an internal understanding and relationship with ourselves. So it's working with all of that, which is a lot, because if you're maybe going through a hard time in your life, or you haven't painted in a while, or you want to start, there's a lot of emotional debris that comes along and gets in the way of even trying to learn, what do I do with this stuff? What do I do with all these colors? Or do I even like color? You gotta determine that all for yourself. So what's important is, doing both a lot of different kinds of work and diving deeper and letting yourself be, or giving yourself the opportunity to be seen, not just through like the work, but through the emotion. And that's my interest, and that's what I help people discover and tap into deeper, because I know how much I was in my own way. So when we start to like loosen the things up differently, energetically, emotionally, you could even argue spiritually if you want, then there's a different response happening. It's all like happening together, right? There isn't any one element, but I'm interested in talking about the emotional part just because I'm really sensitive to that understanding. So as I'm painting over this painting, it's gonna take many layers. I'll probably have like 8 to 10. I think I'm only halfway there. But it's just about returning again and again, and reminding yourself that you can always start again in art and life, with anything. It's just a choice, and you can make it your own again, and it will be different and new, and see what's there. And that's exciting because there's infinite possibilities. I hope this video gives you inspiration for taking some of your older work and painting over it and painting it out and doing what you want with it, and starting over, right? Because we can always start over again. The best thing about art and life is it's just a choice and a matter of showing up to the moment and deciding to give yourself another shot. And we can learn from the past and what we've went through in art and life, and we can make each moment new again, and that is exciting. So if you're new here, there'll be a lot more videos on energy, intuition, emotion, art making, all the good stuff. And just hit subscribe and stick around. Thank you.